Okay, Darth Wiz with another amazing Wiz craptastic review. Here we go, the battle of the Fets between the original trilogy collection and the vintage collection, which is 2.0. Now, I could have shown a couple other figures in between here and got into some of the Kenner, but whatever, I don't need to do that because everything's kind of self-explanatory, and if you just follow me, you'll understand what I mean. I guess we'll start off with the original, the grandfather of the vintage collection, which shout out to Tim at Busk's Bounty. He was the one that's kind of echoed that a lot. Now, I'm going to start off with disclaimer off the bat. I think this one sets, this line set the standard. I don't care what anybody says. Well, actually, I do care. So you guys can tell me why I'm right or why I'm wrong, or maybe there's some things I didn't consider. Number one, tell me they understood collectors when they offered their own version of a star case. And the star case is awesome. It doesn't take up a lot of room. Obviously, this, I think, as far as length up here, I think that's it was probably the only negative of it. You got this sort of different type of bubbling factor thing going on here. I don't know if these cases actually had UV protection at the time. That would be an interesting question to ask. But anyways, this is a battle of the Fets. So let's move along here. Let's look at the figure. As far as I'm concerned, that is an impressive figure. It looks a lot better when I'm looking at it out of the, or not looking through my iPhone. You know what? For the time, I got to give that. It's got articulation. Obviously, it's going to have limitations. You can't see everything because it's in this case, and I haven't taken it out. I'm going to give it like a 9.8, a 10 for the time. I don't know. You guys can rip into me. I don't know. I can't see his cape. I had the 300th version or variant of Fett or whatever it was. I was actually kind of impressed with that. It was like a Power of the Jedi version. Anyways, but look at the card back. Beautiful. The font on the Return of the Jedi is the only thing that I can see that's slightly off. But besides that, the bubble doesn't crowd the card. It's very close to the Kenner. I think that's awesome. Yeah, they got nice inlaid protection. They should go back to that. Boom, that would have solved a lot of issues. Now, let's look at the back of the card. Now I'm really impressed. Shows exactly where they got the inspiration from the original Kenner. You get a nice, beautiful write-up there. Tells you the date when the original Kenner card back came out. Now, this is the Star Wars Empire Strikes Back image. And a lot of times they would reuse images from the films respectively, and they just kept using them throughout the line. And now and then they would introduce the odd new image. Hence, the Blue Sky Fett, as it's known, from Return of the Jedi, which was a card back right from the movie, where this one is just, I forget the artist's name that did that, but I love that one. Some people don't like it, whatever. Those people can all burn in lakes of fire and blood, or whatever Buddy said in Conan. They're 2004. Now, how I'm judging these is by the date that, the production. Remember, a lot of times these things, they're set in motion 3 years before they hit production. So I got to say, especially back then, they must have had this idea, and little props to myself. I remember speaking to one of the representatives way back then, before this line came out, and I told him, I said, you give me a lie detector test, which is known as a polygraph test, I'll pass it, and it's the honest God's truth. I remember every time we always wanted, I told the guy, we just want, modern figures on the original Kenner card backs, and he thought I was like from space or something. He's like, I'll bring it up to my superiors. I wonder that's how I wonder if maybe you never know, right? And I'm sure I'm not the only one that's wanting that at the time. Now, I remember there was some pushback on these too. Some people were not happy with this because I think they felt that it was taking away from the original Kenner. It was going to devalue them, and so it was sort of greed, I think, getting in there, guys wanting their retirement. Anyways, the collection world, literally 20 years ago, I remember bumping into that a lot. Now, disclaimer, I didn't even know that they launched any more of these. I remember I got the first wave with Obi-Wan, Han Solo, Princess Leia, and Luke, Farm Boy. And I was just, and I bought a bunch of, the Falcon and some of the, the Saga collection, the big bubbles that were coming out then. And I didn't know that they were, I thought they weren't going to do any more of these. And this is what this is what I was hoping and waiting for them just to do. But I wanted them to do the entire Kenner line, and, that's it. Like, they almost nailed it, they did nail it. So with these, the fact that they put them in these protective cases, that was one thing which was a huge big one up. I would have been fine if they just put them on the card backs and just did the entire Kenner line, the 96, all the variants. They could have just stuck with that for 5 or 6 years. And, by 2012, 2015, if they just kept going, we would have had every figure on a vintage Kenner card back now. And here we are now in this day and age. And I don't know if the market can handle that, because it's not the same market anymore. So many of us collectors are now aging out, and people like me can only buy the exact same card back like 10 times so much, right? So I just picked up these because they were hanging on the pegs. So I don't know. I've got so many of those too, but I don't know. Anyways, here now. Apologies. Boba Fett. Here it is, the Blue Sky Fett. You can, by all means, Google the original Kenner image. There he is. Doesn't even have his red sensor there. He's got a symbol there on his armor shoulder pad there. His blaster. The figure looks great. The sensor scope doesn't come down. But, when you're kind of comparing, it's... This figure was really being made. It was probably on the drawing board in 2000, 2001. And this figure came out in 2021. There's the date right there, just above my finger there on the left. 2021 Hasbro, VC 186. Look at the lackluster back of this card back. It should just be original trilogy stuff on this. I would have separated the VCs and just had, I know there's reasons why they wouldn't do that. You don't see his blaster because the bubble is just so big. I understand they want to show the figure, but, I don't, like good Lord. And they don't do a homage on the back with the nice Kenner card back, showing the original Blue Sky Fett, because you got 2 different Boba Fett card backs. There's another lost opportunity. You don't get the option of unpunched. I understand why they're putting the bigger punch. So when probably the employees at Walmart just don't go, and they're more, just the way people are, take care of things. Then you got this huge sticker here, the warning hazard, choking hazard. You do have a nice gloss on the card, which you don't have back here. But, okay. So a point there. But then you got this 4+. Like, if you just put 12 and up, or, what are you? Or if they just put them on beautiful cases like these again, and then maybe on the outer case, 18 and up. They had it here, choking hazards and that, but you haven't clued in that these are not for kids, really. For young kids anyways, 4 and up. It's more of an adult line. I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of ways you can look at that. Anyways, they did get the, see, I guess you can see a slight difference there. font size. I mean, that's a minor issue there. So anyways, on my Instagram page, I made a shout out to a couple different channels there. Kilt Man, Plastic Recollections, and then Star Wars Intrigued. He's a small channel. I'm really impressed with, those guys are serious YouTube channels. Mine isn't. I think they're very small, but I think they're really building up there. So give them a like, give them a subscribe. Also another big shout out, GQ Jedi. I love his Kenner videos, absolutely beautiful. And I understand we're, not as much into the modern, and I understand a lot of the negatives. In some ways, I think some of these guys are shooting themselves in the foot, but then at the same time, if you just concentrate on one area of Star Wars, sometimes you can get more done there, right? And me, I'm sort of, I can understand that in a lot of different ways, but for me, it's like I want the Kenner and then I want the modern interpretations, I just wish it was organized properly. Like they were just on the cusp right here. And then obviously you had the Vintage Collection 1.0 that I think came out in 2010. But then you had all these other different lines, because you get all these new brand managers that come into these companies and they all want to put their own spin on it. And it's just like, no, hire people that, I don't know, hire a fan at least, they should have just stuck with this, because, we would have had so many of these characters would have been completed, and God knows if we'll ever get all of them to even, properly fill out the scenes to a certain extent. Or at least get them on the Kenner cardback styles. Like, this is beautiful. So I picked up a couple more of these, but I don't know that now the market isn't as strong anymore. I mean, it's a lot of us guys are getting too old, right? Look at that mark right on the card there, the bubble there. Kind of see right there, but there it is. But that's a shame, whatever. But this is where I think they nailed it. I don't know why they can't just do this. That would have been awesome, like this. Here, boom. But it's just the quality control. Like, look at that, no red bar there. Like, how do you miss that? That's just insane to me. Anyways, I'm waffling on here. Shout out to Blacked Out Ewoks, another amazing channel. Give them a follow. Had a great conversation with Brett on Fett a couple days ago. And of course, a long time ago, Martin and Adam. Martin, you must get all of these. You must. I think you have all of them. You told me that. I don't know. I'll collect whatever you guys want. There it is. Hasbro. Learn. Or just hire me. I'll go in there. I'll do it for free. I'll tell you exactly what we want in about 2 hours. And I guarantee you, I'll give you a few pointers of what you can do to actually sell stuff. Because good Lord, I think I've sold better than myself. I don't work for you guys, and I don't even spend any time doing it. Now, I know you're probably judging my craptastic videos, yes, as a way of saying no, but I could remedy that very well if I wanted to. It's not that difficult to get a good, some good software and video editing. I won't do that. This is a live take. This is my first take. So you just get me nice and raw here. And at the end of the day, or at the time of the hour when I don't want to be, or I have no energy to do anything. So anyways, give me some comments in the comment section. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me why. I know you guys are going to say, well, this is definitive. Is it really? It's always going to be definitive. There's always going to be a slight improvement. Is it really but are you getting a full package, right? Are we really going forward? Look at this. Look at the back, just from the card back. And then not to mention the actual card stock, right? That's another thing. You know, it's not difficult. It's just like, it's almost like the wheel just keeps going. We're kind of getting forward, but it's always one or two steps forward. Then sometimes either a step or two or even three steps or absolutely no steps, or the line ceases, right? But that's why I've been buying a lot of these extra ones. You know, I don't like seeing these sit on the pegs. So much Black Series. I don't know, maybe Star Wars is just, there's not enough of us. And I think in some ways, I think they've kind of blown it, because the best time, shout out to Jay Bartlett, another awesome channel, and his buddy Chad. Jay has said 1,000 times, you know, the best times of Star Wars collecting really was, you know, like in the mid 2000s. And you know what? I think he's bang on, because that's where you got, you know, right up to around 2012. You know, we're starting to come back. I mean, there's some good stuff that's coming, but as far as nailing the original trilogy stuff, it's, you know, they were getting some of it, but, you know, it's like, I wanted to see that nice blaster. I wanted to, you know, get a nice modern, perfect version of I mean, it's good. I'm not complaining. These aren't complaining. This is more criticisms, but it just shows how they've missed the boat. And they did the exact same thing on the Black Series version. Like, you know, like, do something. You can't get his, you know, I mean, you know, maybe, you know, the punch tabs, you know, you could go up another millimeter here or whatever, and, you know, shrink the bubble, boom. Now you've got his, you can see the whole image just like what it was when I got my Boba Fett back in 85 or 84, whenever I got him. And then eventually I started getting Boba Fett's all the time, you know, from people that had them loose, you know, from their private, you know, from kids and stuff like that. Then I didn't even want Boba Fett's anymore, because I had so many of them. It was ridiculous. I think I traded a couple for other figures I didn't have. But anyways, this video has gone on way too long. Darth Wiz, may the craptastic be with you.